Hi, you're watching Beige and Bougie. I'm Corinne and we're going to talk about Rihanna's handbag collection, so come on in. So you're probably wondering why I'm wearing this fancy dress on a Wednesday afternoon, and it's because it was designed by Rihanna. And as I said a moment ago, I want to take you through her handbags, her handbag journey, what she likes, what she doesn't like, and I guess the direction I see that she's going in. So I figured that the best way was to wear a Fenty getup. So I'm hoping that you like it. Anyway, this video is definitely going to be about Rihanna's handbag collection. Rihanna is the ultimate multi-hyphenate singer, songwriter, actress, model, designer, makeup mogul, and all-around boss. Rihanna, like me, has roots that hail from the sun-swept island of Barbados. Born there in 1998. She was discovered by record producer Evan Rogers, who invited her to the US to record some demos, which were eventually sent out to Def Jam Records. She would eventually go on to audition for rap mogul Jay-Z, who was accompanied by L.A. Reid at the time. Reid was so confident in her star power, he told Jay-Z not to let the then 15-year-old Rihanna leave the building until she signed a recording contract, and I think I can leave you to take it from here as to how the next chapters unfolded in Rihanna's musical career. As an artist, she has presented us with distinct and diverse aesthetics with each and every one of her album releases. When we think of the ultimate fashion killer, her head-to-toe Swarovski-encrusted look at the 2014 CFDAs, her striking crimson hair from her Red Anna era, the avant-garde pixie cut of her rated R days, and her boundary-pushing, belly-bearing pregnancy style comes to mind. But the one area which often goes overlooked is her love affair with accessories, or more specifically handbags. Truth be told, if I were to recount every iconic bag the Bajan singer has ever worn, this video will become a multi-part series, and maybe that's something I'll do in the future. So I'm going to take a deep dive into the bags that are era-defining and that led to many of us mortals making our first foray into luxury purchasing so that we could take home a little piece of something worn by fashion's reigning queen. And when I say mere mortals, I'm including myself in that, as I too have succumbed to Rihanna's powerful sartorial influence. Long before her days as the reigning monarch of the Met Gala, when Rihanna first stepped onto the music scene, much of what she was wearing, and more importantly carrying, was probably dictated very much so by her then team. Rihanna herself said she felt stifled by the pop princess image that had been created for her in her early career, saying, "They had a brand. They had no idea what they wanted me to be without figuring out who I was and working with that." She also described her early looks as generic and boring. So I'm going to take a look at her bags, not through eras, but by the designer houses the songstress seems to share a love affair with. And it would seem that Rihanna's true love is Louis Vuitton. But don't worry, I will be visiting the arm candy she has worn from other fashion houses. LV just seems a great place to start. When we think of Louis Vuitton and Rihanna, there's one bag that always springs to mind, the Alma. At first we saw her wearing it in the oversized gold metallic iteration, made famous because of that photo with Kim Kardashian and Paris Hilton. Given it was the late 2000s, 2009 to be specific, she pulled it together with one of my least favourite trends, 2010's business style. But it wasn't to be the only Alma she would wear. In 2014, Rihanna started to come into her own where bags were concerned. It seemed like whatever she was doing and wherever she was going, she was carrying the Alma's cute top-handled sister, the BB, in Damier Bin. I believe at the time Rihanna started wearing it, the bag had been newly released and was, so much cheaper. So in true Rihanna style, she was a pioneer. I really enjoyed the way she paired it with a plethora of outfits, whether that was a street style fit or something far more elevated like this casual chic look she's sporting after leaving an Italian restaurant. She had girls and boys lining up everywhere, myself included, hoping to get one of these. So, yep, this is the Alma BB. I bought it because Rihanna had it, basically. Like, I kept seeing her wear it like everywhere, and I was like, I need one too. I did and ah about it for ages. I and ah about it to the point that I think at one point it was like 800 and something, and by the time I bought it, it was like 990. But it's gone up even more, and it's a good investment. But yes, Rihanna made me do it. In 2017, we saw a resurgence in interest in the backpack, and the rule was the tinier, the better. Around the time she was starring in Ocean's 8, Rihanna was spotted on several occasions with the Louis Vuitton Palm Springs Mini, and always one to go against the grain, she went for it in the reverse monogram iteration. Fun fact, do you remember the days of stalking the Louis Vuitton website? Well, I stayed up until 4 a.m. to snag this bag. So yes, here we have Exhibit B. I believe that Alma was Exhibit A. This was another bag that Rihanna wore, which when I saw her wearing it, like, I had to have. It's the Palm Springs Mini in reverse monogram. I think I really liked it because it's Louis Vuitton, but because they reversed the monogram, it gives it something different. But anyway, I am one of the many lunatics who stayed up in the middle of the night to try and get this into their cart, and I finally got it. And full disclosure, I'm kind of thinking of selling this, so let me know what you think. But yes, this is one bag I share with Queen Rihanna. Back to the regular scheduled programming. The bag went perfectly with the relaxed fashion choices that Rihanna was making at the time, especially when paired with her beautiful faux locks, capturing her signature carefree attitude. Another 2017 favorite was the Frank Jerry or Gary, I'm not entirely sure how that's pronounced, twisted monogram bag, part of the Louis Vuitton Icons and Iconoclast collection, where the house saw themselves collaborating with the likes of Karl Lagerfeld and Christian Louboutin, among others. Sidebar, this is still a bag I dream of owning. The bag's architectural take on the vanity, when worn alongside a conventional look like a flowing dress or one of her tailored jackets, provided the singer with the perfect off-center fashion moment. Remember all the hype surrounding the LV multi-pochette? Rihanna, yet again, was amongst the first women to have worn it, and she understood the utilitarian assignment perfectly, having teamed it with an oversized camo cardigan, and she wore it as intended, accessorizing with an air of nonchalance. Rihanna made history in 2014, becoming the first Black woman to be made the face of Dior, and with that her bags reflected this new allegiance. We began to see her wearing the Lady Dior made famous by the late Princess Diana, and doubling it up with another iconic piece at the time, the Dior Addict Tote. It kind of created this really cool juxtaposition of an item that by its very nature was formal, combined with a newer, lesser known piece from the house. Rihanna would style these bags up, or down depending on how you look at it, with shorts, a pair of New Balance, and a crop vest, putting her own modern twist on the classics. We even saw her wearing the Lady Dior in a more embellished finish when attending the pre-spring/summer show in 2015. The Diorama was also a favourite of hers at the time, which in my opinion was Dior's take on the Chanel boy. But again, she mixed its sophistication with elements of hip-hop style, including baseball caps and khaki combats. I'm not really a fan of Jacquemus, but I had to give this bag an honourable mention. Rihanna went all out in 2017 when she went to the naming ceremony of her drive in Barbados. Yes, that's right. If you go to St. Michael, you'll find Rihanna Drive, named after the Beijing Queen herself. But back to the look. You can tell that Rihanna wanted to replicate the warmth of the Barbados sun with this all yellow look. And it's almost like she picked the Chiquito in its then smallest size, so as to complement rather than outshine one of her biggest moments. And in my humble opinion, Rihanna is the only person I've ever seen this bag look good on. It actually looks elegant, a feat I have rarely seen repeated. The unapologetic era seems to be the time when Rihanna declared her love for Chanel. At their 2013 Haute Couture show, she was understandably dressed by the tweed purveyors in a head-to-toe look. What I like about this is she chose to keep the iconic Chanel elements, pearls, two-tone shoes, but when it came to her bag, she stepped very much outside of the box. Where most people would have opted for a classic bag, Rihanna chose a seasonal piece, choosing a beige iteration of the vanity case, which completed a tone-on-tone look. The bag perfectly captures her personality, classic with a twist, and the colour, a deep beige, complements and also contrasts with her skin. It will come as no surprise that Rihanna predicted the resurgence of a trend with her look at the Chanel show in Paris during 2015, especially given that the Louis Vuitton iteration of this bag didn't launch until 2018. Sidebar. This is one of my absolute favourite looks that Rihanna has ever donned. In my opinion, Carl could do no wrong. The tone on tone, the cinched in waist, the oversized jewellery, everything about this look is speaking to me. But we're here to talk about bags, right? And Robin hit the nail on the head with this one. She is sporting a tweed lilac bum bag, and its position at her hips really accentuates her curves and gives the outfit a whole high-low mix, especially when you take into account she's wearing trainers. It was basically her way of saying there are no rules in fashion. Talk about pour it up. Rihanna bought her own perfume bottles out to New York's West Village in 2014. Though when I say perfume bottles, I'm talking about a Chanel Minaudière, designed in the shape of their iconic fragrances. And in typical Reese style, she doubled up, wearing one that was transparent with black accents and another made from black perspex with gold accents. These bags are super hard to come by unless you have a spare 10 grand lying around. But when it comes to fashion, nothing is off limits to its current reigning monarch. Most people would have styled these with attire that would have been a little more on the classically elevated side, but Rihanna threw it together with a simple fit, telling us that whatever ideas we might hold dear about fashion, like pie crusts, they are meant to be broken. The thing I want to mention is Rihanna's love for micro Chanel bags. Way back before everyone and their parole officer was joining any and every wish list pertaining to the acquisition of a minuscule bag, Rihanna had been wearing teeny tiny pieces of leather in 2014. The aesthetic on her screams luxury. How many of us are so rich we don't need keys, a phone, or even a credit card for that matter? Rihanna revisited the trend a few years later, pairing two Chanel Micro Minis with a barely there bikini, which I can't show you for fear of getting a strike on my channel. But again, the photo shows the coolness that most of us aspire to. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't be wearing my Chanel to the beach. One splash of salted water and it's game over. But then that's the difference between us humans and world-famous superstars. Quiet luxury, where? Well, that's what I imagined Rihanna saying when she put together this get-up in 2019. Of late, most of us have been browbeaten into thinking that the only way to add a touch of class to an outfit is to wear 50 shades of beige. My thoughts are when Rihanna put together a Dior book tote with its famous sister, the saddle, she's doubling up again. Are we seeing a pattern here? She gave zero you-know-whats when it came to people perceiving her love of logos as nothing short of gauche. The bag perfectly encapsulates Rihanna's own personal style of bougie, bold and boundary breaking, though I'm sure she might well have chosen the saddle because of her close relationship with Galliano, who famously designed her sexy Pope outfit for the Met in 2018. I think it's safe for us all to come to the conclusion that Rihanna, like most of us watching this video, is a certified bag collector. And I've noticed that as her sense of personal style has grown, so has her collection of vintage accessories. Vintage gives the star a way to communicate her deep sartorial knowledge and understanding with her fashion peers, but most importantly her fans. In 2022, she carried pieces from Tom Ford's tenureship at Gucci, with this lizard skin hobo bag being one of them. And she was also seen wearing a 90s black velvet monogram clutch from the same era. It's almost as if she's so fashion forward, the only way to truly go is backwards. And she really has fun with it, particularly when you see her wearing things like the 1998 football-shaped Louis Vuitton handbag designed to commemorate the World Cup. Or in 2019 when she donned the transparent keepall for the late great Virgil Abloh's Spring 2019 Louis Vuitton men's collection. When Rihanna's fashion brand with LVMH was put on hold, I was super sad, having owned a couple of pieces from the line. The brand was like nothing that was out there, catering to the cool girl on her day off. I was also really curious to see the direction in which she would have taken her own accessories line. But the good news is the brand announced in 2021 that it was on hiatus, rather than having been made fully redundant. So who knows, we might yet get to see a Rihanna-centered take on a selection of leather goods. But for now, we'll have to make do with what she'll be carrying from Pharrell Williams' Louis Vuitton men's line, given that she's now one of its official faces. Interestingly, I think those multicolored speedies are the closest we'll ever get to seeing her wearing a mom bag. Thank you so much for watching my video. Let me know if there are any bags that you are desperate to get your hands on that Rihanna has, or if you like these two that I have already. It wouldn't hurt if you would like, comment, share, subscribe. It's all free, and I will link any details of bags that I have shown in the video in the description box. Thank you so much.
God, sing it.
You see me do me so me put in work. Anyway.
Okay, let's work.
Remember.